It's India. Welcome to Indytalk101. I am here with the founder of Bigger Than Sports, Ian Waite. I'm so excited to talk to him just about who he is, his organization, and even the event that will be happening on the 29th in Pittsburgh. And you guys don't want to miss it. So we're going to get right into it. So, Ian, thank you for coming on the show. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling blessed. Thanks for having me.
Of course, absolutely. It's an honor. So, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Well, loaded question. Most people always ask like, "Hey, what does your organization do? What's your mission?" But me, Ian, I am based in Florida, so that's where I'm at right now. I'm in South Florida in Boca Raton, and I grew up a Pittsburgh kid, so I was at Squirrel Hill, went to Colfax for middle school and elementary, and then went to Alderdice for high school. And yeah, throughout that journey, then went to Massachusetts. Yeah, I've been a leader my whole life, but I really felt called to start an organization, a nonprofit, while I was in college, and it's been growing ever since. That's the platform that I get to speak from. But I always like to say I'm a business leader, um, but really I'm a man of God, and that's the disguise that I get to put on, and so that's what I'm most proud of. I'm a loving boyfriend, and I am an athlete at heart, going and putting my all into everything that I do, and I just am so grateful that I get to have a platform to give, to serve, and to proclaim good news and good words into people's lives.
That's so awesome. So kinda just starting off from what you had talked about. So you talked about being in Massachusetts and then moving to Florida. Like, what was the move? What created the move to Massachusetts and then the move to go to Florida coming from Pittsburgh?
hmm Yeah, it's part of my journey. So I and my siblings, we were both, and all three of us, sorry about that, we were all kids of higher education parents. So my parents worked at higher education, and at any moment you could lose the job, and it's not like you can get another job within that same city. Oftentimes it's a different state. And so we moved across during COVID. So I grew up in Pittsburgh pretty much my whole life, and then knowing only one life, knowing only one group, and having to move during such a pivotal time, and then kind of being alone was a big step for me. Very, very new. I didn't really know what was to come, and I didn't know how to like talk to a different demographic. I didn't know how to talk to people up in Massachusetts. But then, I made it work. So it was my mom getting a new job, and that's what led to it, and all that has followed.
Awesome. So can you tell me a little bit about now how you're being planted in Florida and what that looks like for you?
hmm Yeah. And I grew up in the Northeast, and then I moved up even more Northeast, and I was done with the cold. So I made my way down to Florida for college, and that's where I found myself, where I was able to really be my full, authentic self, and to grow. And oftentimes, when you get like planted out of an environment that you are so used to, you end up realizing like you almost put up a persona of who you were. So getting a new beginning and being able to see new faces, and to not have my parents or my siblings like be there, I was able to thrive. And so in college has been really transformational for me.
That's awesome. Can you tell us about creating Bigger Than Sports? You know, where were you? What were you doing when you came up with this concept and just the evolution of the beginning and where it's at now?
hmm it makes me think like whenever I am speaking or I'm on a podcast, I would love, and I do love to tell my story, but honestly, like what I want to get out of it is for people to get things out of it. So as I tell it, I really want to drop pieces of advice, or drop different perspectives that people could really take with them and keep with them. Like I'm always constantly intaking information, and I come to realize that, hey, wait, maybe only one, two things will actually get remembered. But that's my hope. My hope is that today, if anyone's listening, you take away something from it, and it helps you. It benefits your life, and it makes you a better person. And so I I speak with that level of clarity and professionalism, but I didn't always have that. So I wasn't the best kid. Like growing up, I got into a lot of trouble. I was yeah, I was just a troublemaker, not only to my parents, but to the teachers. And so, what really kept me out of that was sports. Like it kept my head on firm ground, and it gave me life. Like I would look forward to practice after school every single day. Like that's what I put my hard work, determination, my leadership towards. And then along the way, even I got misled off that path. And so I was leading my friends to the wrong things, like whether that be going to the party, um, or going and having a drink. Like that's not who I am, but it's what I did. I got misled, and so when I went to college, that really heightened. So I was going and having way too much fun in South Florida, and from that, I went back home, and I was really excited to go home, tell all my friends about how much fun I had just had, but also how much I had just learned and professionally developed myself. And then the real world hit me. Like, wait, a lot of my friends, they didn't have that same opportunity. When they graduated from high school, that was a wall that they hit. And they ended up staying in the same communities, doing the same things that their friends are doing, which is oftentimes not good. And they didn't have anything going for them. And I came to my realization that, hey, because I have mentorship through my parents, through my older sister, I was able to make that transition. My friends weren't. And nobody deserves to be alone in that process. I mean, every high schooler, or everyone remembers being in high school, getting asked that question, hey, what's your plan for life after high school? And the anxiety that comes with it. But when you're in an underserved community and you don't have guidance built into your institution, it's even way farther worse. Um, and the anxiety is way farther heightened. And especially it is for athletes because athletes, they tie their self worth, their identity around the sport. And oftentimes, the only people that they see making it out of their community, or at least that are highlighted, is the athletes, the ones that went pro. But the real world doesn't tell them that only 98% aren't going to make it. Only 2% do. And then only 1% of that 2% actually make it to the pros beyond that college level. And so that's the mission of Bigger Than Sports. We want to bring across is that, hey, you're more than an athlete. It's not the sport that is essentially going to put food on the plate that is going to make you successful, but it is what you've learned through sports that will. And so that's what we did. And the whole root cause behind what we started, it's really been a team effort between Emma and Noah and Elias and the whole team behind it.
Wow, that is incredible. I mean, you talked about even your transition of coming back and realizing you weren't, planted or grounded in the way that you wanted to be. But earlier you also mentioned, your faith. So what was your moment where you were like, this isn't where I see myself anymore? The partying, being the bad influence, leading my friends and myself to things that I know aren't good for me and aren't helping me develop. What did that moment look like for you on top of, tapping into your faith, into your belief of God?
Hmm. Yeah, like for me, I actually started the organization before I found God again.
Mhm.
So you can oftentimes do so many great things and you can also do so many bad things, but without a relationship with God, you become unaware to it, both the good and the bad. Like, see, for me, I went to college and throughout my entire life, I've been a leader. Like I was the captain of 3 sports teams. I was the kid that was hosting all the parties and bringing hundreds of people together. And so that in itself is leadership. It's just not me really realizing what my purpose within being a leader was. And I never got asked that question until the second semester of college. I had a mentor and a friend of mine named Daniel who took me through this self-discovery course. And he sat me down and he just asked me a question and he listened. Like he actually listened to what I was going to say and he didn't interrupt. And there was these questions that really rattled my brain and it made me realize I have so much potential to do good in this world. But what am I using that potential to do? So like for everybody that's out there listening, like if you have the ability to communicate or you have the ability to lead, you know, you need to ask yourself, what am I communicating? What is the message that I'm communicating? Where are the places that I'm leading people to? And for me, that answer was communicating the fact that you should be going and doing bad things because it will be fun. Or I'm leading people to go out. And that is just totally opposite of my values. And so when I went back and I came back home and I saw all of this, and that all sparked everything. And that got my operational mind going. I started the organization with Emma. I had a conversation with her, and from there, we were working day and night to make this happen. Like our first event, it was a 3v3 basketball tournament. We scrapped together a couple $100 of donations. We made it happen. What we did was we brought the entire community together around a cause that hasn't even begun, just straight up off of belief and off of good words. And that went really well on the media side. So we had photographers, videographers, and we made it look like it was the biggest thing ever. On the back end of things, we profited $2, and it did not look good for us. But Emma and I came into it with the mindset. Emma's my older sister, by the way, who is the director of operations, my right hand woman. And so we took those dollars, gave one to each of us, and we hung it in our room. And that kind of serves as a symbol and a message for us, like we got to keep going. We are into this space not to become the richest people, or make the fastest $1,000,000, because that's obviously not what industry we're stepping into with bigger than sports. But not to get off the topic here, I went back to school, and I started this organization. I had this whole thing under my belt, and that whole entire year went amazing. I mean, we changed the lives of 17 kids. We worked hard every single day, to make this program a reality, to make bigger than sports what it is now. And it was fulfilling, but I was always chasing after something more. I always wanted more students, more money, more events, more people to come and support. And that is like a hamster going around a wheel, just constantly looking for more and more and more. And that's the ways of the world. But at that time, I didn't know. I just thought that I wasn't successful. Um, and so throughout all of that, we put it into a nice and pretty story and application, just kind of storytelling throughout the years of what led to my testimony and what my story is with God. We ended up putting that into a nice and pretty application, and we won the Billie Jean King Youth Leadership Award at the ESPYs, which
Wow.
is the best, the biggest stage in the entirety of sports. But now you imagine this. You have a 20-year-old kid who had been who been whatever that was in high school, whatever that was in my freshman year of college, to then starting this organization and like being praised as one of the best social entrepreneurs in the entire world among sports, making such a big impact. And that's when it hit like the identity crisis, the imposter syndrome. Like, why am I here? Why am I even on this stage? Like, who gave me this opportunity? And like, why do I deserve it? And that can really, really get to a kid's head. Like, you're 20 years old and you're standing on the stage in front of millions of people. I mean, Simone Biles and Lamar Jackson are in the front row giving you an applause. Like, that is so easily going to be manipulated into, oh, I'm the best. I'm the strongest. I can do everything. I'm 20 years old. Look at what I'm going to do in 40 years old. And that's what was in my head. Like, that's who I was. And I never realized that that was what I needed, because after such a high moment, I hit rock bottom. I was like, what am I doing? Like, what is this all for? Who is it all for? And then I went to church. So my girlfriend and I, we were both searching for it within our hearts, and we went to church, and the entire message was just about the pastor. Actually, he grabbed a weight and he placed it on his chest, and he laid down and he preached the message, going on and on about like, that's what this world is looking to do for you. It's putting this weight on your chest, and what you need to realize is that there is a man that is so much stronger. There is a creator that takes it off of your chest and puts it onto his back every single day. And what I realized is like, okay, it's not me who came up with the idea or me who put in all the hard work. It's the Lord who placed that purpose onto my heart. It's the Lord who gave me the strength to be able to go in and get that award. And He didn't give me that award to make my head bigger. He gave me that award for the student that needs it, that doesn't have the access to the guidance. And when I changed my perspective into that, everything has changed. And we don't give to receive, right? Like I'm saying like, oh, I went to follow the Lord and everything got better because I did that. But it's really like I got and I gave to the Lord because that's what it's all about. Like that's my purpose. And all of the fruits that follow it, that's just what happens. Like you can't explain it. Like that's what happens when you go and you follow the Lord. And that's what happened in my life. And that's my testimony and how it all happened and all of the stories and what has come. But yeah, it's taken me so long to even realize that, to like make this all full picture. And I'm doing my best to explain it here on the podcast. So hopefully somebody who is either going through a situation like I was or who is still going through that like middle ground of, hey, I found it, but what's it all for? I'm here to tell you like it's for him.
Wow, those are that was just so you're so wise and, and admirable, and I think even just listening to this, just being able to see how grounded you became, when you started the organization, not really having the strongest relationship with Christ, and then how he literally started to develop and change your mindset, right? Because, we talk about the imposter syndrome and, so many other things and not feeling qualified even when we are. In fact, it is God who qualifies us, and to be able to just see how even one of the biggest moments, the ESPYs are huge. It's one of the hugest award shows in sports, and so to be able to be on that stage, right? And then still be humbled enough to be like, God, okay, what am I here for? What is it that you're trying to do? Like, what, you know what I'm saying? What am I doing? And him being able to plant those seeds of faith and give you a word and give you encouragement, and knowing that you are in the right place, you are, in the position of where you need to be. And as you continue to walk into what he has called you to do through bigger than sports and so many other things, he's continuing to guide you. And so, like you said, you could have used that moment to have a big hit and to feel like, I've made it, but God has so much more in store for you, and he will continue to grow bigger than sports and grow what it is that you're trying to do because of your surrenderance, because of your posture, because you're always dedicating it back to Him. So I just want you to continue to be encouraged because you are on an amazing path. And I've been there too, where I felt imposter syndrome, like how am I getting this connection and how am I? But you know, when you're doing things, there's a difference between doing things the right way, I always say, and doing things the godly way. And when you're doing things the godly way, there is a certain, not even type of favor, but a certain covering that follows you. And because we are having this talk, I also wanted to know, like, what does success mean to you? Now, you've been on the biggest stage in sports. You have created an organization that is, well, the name bigger than sports, you are known worldwide. But you've been at a part where, you've had the success without your faith being as strong and with your faith being strong. So, what does success look like for you? What is your definition of success?
Like the personal answer to that is to be loving and to be kind, to showcase the fruits of the Lord and to be the light, bring others towards him. Like that's my life's purpose right then and there. Like success to me looks like having a family. And, if 2 years ago Ian heard me say that, he'd be like, what are you talking about? Like that doesn't make sense. But um, like once you find that firm foundation in a woman and or in a significant other, whoever it is, and then the corporate answer to like what success looks like. Because bigger than sports, I wake up excited to do it every day. Like I'm so honored to be able to be in a position that I work on something that's meaningful. I work on something that changes lives, and I work on something that I could see myself doing for the rest of my life. It's a life's purpose, it's a life's mission. And I believe that bigger than sports can be the next Boys and Girls Club. I believe it could be the next YMCA, like the household names that people grow up knowing is there for them in their community. I believe that sports, it changes lives like that. That is what kept me out of trouble. And God knows what sports has done for others, whether it's watching it, playing it, coaching it. It does something that's transformational that school can't do, that anything else can't do. Like it's hard to explain, but like the emotion that you have when you play a good game or when you watched a good game, like that is so meaningful to the heart, especially in the age of disconnection, in the age where people are losing that connection. I believe that it's so important and so powerful. But the other side of the coin is like what happens after, and nobody's giving awareness to that. Nobody is helping connect all the good that is through sport to the power that is of education. And Bigger Than Sports can do that. I mean, I imagine a world where Bigger Than Sports has its mentorship program embedded into every Title I high school in the country. Like that is bringing in Title I kids, students in underserved communities who have systemic odds stacked against them, now being functioning, successful members of society because of what they've learned through sport, and just having someone who's there for them and will listen to them, will hear them, and take on their anxieties and understand them, but then turn them into success and path steps forward. That's Bigger Than Sports, and what our plan is and what we look to do. So that's what success looks like. Having communities that are changed through the power of sport.
Wow. And speaking of community, and you did kind of just touch on it, but what does it look like when Bigger Than Sports comes into a community, comes into a school? Somebody wants to know, how can my kid or how can somebody that I know get involved in this? What does that look like?
Mm-hmm. Bigger Than Sports is like what we are trying to do, and I won't say that we're perfect, we're just getting started. But what we're trying to do is have a state of the art, world class mentorship program going into schools that need it most. So we're working in the Title I public schools, and what we do is we take from the local colleges or young professionals, and we train them into becoming sort of like a guidance counselor where they are helping student athletes at the school have a plan for life after high school sports. So it's a year and a half program that you start in your junior year. In your junior year, you're going through the self discovery process, helping you to figure out who you are beyond an athlete, what it is you actually want to do beyond sports. So whenever you get asked that question, hey, what's your plan for life after high school? You say it with your chest out, held up high, like, hey, I'm going to be an engineer and I want to do that because XYZ. And and I'm going to get there by going to XYZ. Like that's every single student has that plan by junior year. That's one side of it. What you can do is paint a picture and a dream of who's going to actually help make it happen. We are. So in their senior year, we work with them throughout the entire process leading up to that commitment date, getting them into the school, making sure that they're applying on time, applying for all of the scholarships and financial need that is needed to be able to get there. And that's our program, what we do. And then on the latter half of it, we have a life skills programming where the student athletes, once they do get into school and onwards, then they're learning like financial literacy, budgeting, all of the things that they're going to need to take them for life. And throughout all of this programming, we're taking them on field trips. We're bringing in professional speakers. We have a panel of professional athletes. There's a whole number of things that we do. And just for context on Bigger Than Sports and our story, we started in Florida and we're in two high schools down here, but now we're piloting it in Pittsburgh, which leads to our event and what we're really trying to raise awareness around for Pittsburgh. So we're at Obama High School right now. We're working with their boys and girls basketball team. and their girls flag football team, and we're just getting started at Pittsburgh. That's everything to us, and it's the roots of Bigger Than Sports where we started, and we're just so excited to get started and to bring this here, and then to make it a model that's replicable and able to be scaled across the nation.
Speaking of Obama, my alma mater, I kind of we wanted to talk about the back to school 5K wellness social. So that will be taking place on Saturday, August 29th. It's the last Saturday of the month at 9 a.m. at Obama Academy. So can you talk to us about this back to school 5K wellness social?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the logos on this flyer in itself just makes like the little boy in me jump. Like there's the Pittsburgh Public Schools logo, the Dick's Sporting Goods logo, Pittsburgh Three Rivers Marathon, Cameron Hayward, and that's all around Bigger Than Sports. And this is our first large scale fundraiser here in Pittsburgh. There is so much work that goes into hosting an event like this. So before I get into it, I just want to give honor where honor is due. Our team has been above and beyond, Emma and Sophie specifically, just doing such great work. Noah with the media plan and even making this beautiful flyer. So honored, so honored. And really, what our goal is of a fundraiser is, is raise funds, and that's what you could put on the big poster board. But no, it's to gather community. Like we would love for you to just come and check us out, see us in person, and see Bigger Than Sports in action, and that will do the talking. This 5K plus Wana Social is going to be so much fun. It's on August 29th at 9 a.m. So make sure you get your sleep, you have your outfit ready on the bed like it's the first day of school, and come and run. It's going to be up the Highland Park Hill, so also be ready to do that. That's going to be a lot. 3.1 miles, and then after it, what makes this more special than just a normal 5K, we do a huge bonus party after. So we're going to have everything from healthy food to health checkups and puppies, like man, games. This is going to be so much fun, and you don't want to miss it. It's going to be gathering all the run clubs, all the young adults, all the older adults, the high school kids, professionals in Pittsburgh. It will be a great time to connect, to give back to the community. A lot of times people say like, get your boots on the ground. Like this is getting your running shoes on the ground because it is all to support the implementation of our programming that I talked about earlier into more Title I high schools. We're just in Obama right now. Shout out Obama to the alma mater.
Yes,
But
yes.
my alma mater, Alderdice High School, needs some work too.
Oh,
And Westinghouse, and
yeah.
and then onwards to the Hill District. Like we know that Pittsburgh has so much potential, especially its athletes, and Big in Sports will just be able to pull that from them. That's our goal. And so through this 5K and Wellness Social and all the other events that we'll do throughout the year, um, we're here, and we're here to make some noise, and we hope that you can be a part of helping us to make that happen.
Wow. Well, that is awesome. I look forward to being there with you all and being able to witness just the beginning of all of this. And so, you guys come out. Please come out. It's going to be a great time. Even if you're like, I don't want to run, still come out, support, mingle and mix. But if you are running, like he said, get your sleep, get your rest. Get your workout clothes ready because it is going to be a great time. So I want to thank you so much, Ian, for coming on the show today, coming on the podcast. I truly appreciate it. I am just, sitting here and like amazed at what the Lord is doing in your life and what He's going to continue to do. And so I want to give you your flowers now because they are definitely owed. And just grateful to see where you're going to go on this journey and everything that you continue to do because what you are doing is needed. What was planted in you is needed. There is a purpose, a huge purpose behind what you're doing. Bigger than sports, bigger than Ian. And so I think it's incredible what you are doing. And so I look forward to continuing to be a part of that. If you all are coming on the 29th, I will see you guys there. And before we end, I just want to say or ask you, what is one piece of advice, what word of encouragement, what is something that you would say to that athlete right now who is like, I don't know if I'm going to make it where I want to in sports. I feel worthless. I feel helpless. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know if this is something I will continue in the collegiate aspect or even in the pros. What would you tell them?
Hmm, it's bigger than sports. Like that's the whole message. Like it's bigger than sports. There's so much more to life, man. Um, and what and who you are as an athlete, that will be who you are in the boardroom. Like that's who you will be into whatever your next purpose is. Like there is something out there that will give you that same level of energy that game day does. There is something out there that will give you as much fulfillment as hitting that shot does. I promise you there is. You just need to keep searching and finding it. Don't give up, because if you do, I'm here to tell you, like I've seen the other side of the coin. I've seen what happens when they do give up, and that's not what your life is for. Um, and beyond that, like to all the podcast listeners, the piece of advice that I would give to them, like if the Lord did it for me, um, He will do it for you, and He will do it for you. And it's hard to explain. Like whenever a Christian goes and says their testimony or makes their words of encouragement to try and draw you in, like it's just you need to go and experience it for yourself. I promise you, like it does not equate to what I just said or to what I could put across until you just give it to him. And that's what I hope that people get out of this podcast today. And beyond that, um, Bigger Than Sports is growing, and we're open to any type of support, whether that's, you know, monetary, making a donation with money, or it's just prayer. Like that's as simple as it is. Anything that you can do to help us out, we're honored to receive, and we promise to steward it with good intentions and firm actions behind it. So thank you so much for having me on the podcast. I'm honored to be here, and you're doing great things. You're highlighting people that otherwise wouldn't have that platform. So, like, seriously, being able to be here and to speak to Pittsburgh and to speak to a new demographic, new audience that I otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to, like, that means everything to me. So, thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Ian. It was an honor. It was an honor. Thank you all to the viewers and the listeners that are out there. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And so, yeah, we will see you all on the 29th of this month. All right, Ian. Thank you. Take care.